I'm not gonna reshoot the video you're about to watch, but the day I took the bass in Chicago was the same day that Mike Watt was playing at the Hideout, and I helped him find a parking space, and he signed the bass, and we had a long talk. He was like quizzing me about uh, electricity and magnetism and stuff. Like he's such a the guy is brilliant. And he actually told me I maybe I'm confused or maybe there's something in the works with Reverend, but he talked about a Dark Star bisonic pickup going into. I thought he was saying that was going to go in like the Reverend Wattplower Mark III, and maybe that is what he was saying. But just the other day on his Hoot page, he has a Curtis Novak uh, bisonic pickup in the size of that humbucker. So yeah, he like modded out his yellow Watt plower bass, which leave it to Watt to like get like have this like beautiful collaboration signature bass, and then like still modded out. Like that's so Watt. So yeah, I forgot to talk about that, but I'm not gonna shoot the whole thing again. There you go. Hopefully this sounds good because I didn't turn the mic back on. I didn't. Yeah. Uh, this video is probably gonna get copyrighted. The last one did because I threw the a little bit of the the Rocky Four soundtrack on it, and it got copyrighted. I don't care about copyright. I've never gotten a check from YouTube. He keeps trying to get me to sign up for a subscription, and that ain't happening. I guess there's gonna be some age restriction thing coming up. I don't know. Anyways, but all right. So this is gonna be one of those rambly talky videos. Okay. So all right, we'll start with Shelly. I liberated Shelly from rehab because it was abandoned in an equipment closet. Put it in a closet. Didn't forget about it. Well, yeah, forgot about it. Sent it over to a buddy's to work on. COVID happened. We forgot about it again. And eventually I was looking at 5 strings and I went, oh yeah, I got that thing in the closet. I tried to get it up and running. Had a guy wire up the pickup that I already had and put half wound with a low B on it, recorded with it. It was cool. I did Dave's song with it and was like, oh yeah, this bass is awesome. And then I took it to church and I went to play it with people and went to hit that first note and I was just like, yeah. My intonation was terrible. I ended up tuning, I think, to the 3rd or 5th fret just to get through the Sunday morning, and was like, okay, I'm never taking this back to church. And so then I ended up. This is like the shortest bridge travel, and so I actually physically moved this back. I put a set of 5 strings that went E to C, and like it was very frustrating, and it was like this bass has so much potential, and you get into the higher register, and so I was probably complaining about it to James, and James said, "Oh, you need to send it to my buddy Dan." And so I took it over to Dan in Chicago and had some back and forth texting. And hang on. He suggested Kurt Mangan. You guys, the pronunciations. Bartolini. See, I learned, but I'm not good. Kurt Mangan Fusion Match Strings. They're nickel wound piccolo. It goes 65, 50, 40, 30, and a 20, which isn't wound. Okay, and so it's tuned G, C, F. Let me think here. Would be B flat? No. Yeah, B flat. And then what's under the B flat? Mentally I'm fretting in my, oh, E flat, right? Yeah, okay. So it's a piccolo bass, and the other thing, so I moved the bridge physically back to try to get it to intonate when it was low. This sticker, the line of this sticker is actually where the bridge was stock. And so Dan actually moved it forward. So it's original spot where I moved it, and now where Dan has it. So this bridge has been in 3 positions. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this bass is cool. And so then Dan has, in his basement, he has his workshop. He's got all this stuff. And I looked at this bass and yada yada. And so in the meantime, let's go to this one. It was on sale. I'm a sucker for a sale. So it's a Harley Benton lap steel. I put, what did I put on it? Labella Hawaiian C6 strings. Right now, it's tuned to an open A. So I think it's A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E. I believe that's right. And in the meantime, Sweetwater had this guy on sale for like ridiculous price. So they had it for 120 off. I think they still do. And all my stuff is bass centric. And so I kind of jumped on this to have something for the lap steel, and was like, oh yeah, because James had this for a while at his house, and he was actually running it through his guitar setup, because I mean from this string on, it gets into like baritone guitar range. And so I picked this up for the lap steel and kind of like, oh yeah, I can use that with my PEAVEY too, with the Shelley bass. Okay, so anyways, so while I'm at Dan's, I'm looking at his shop, and he's got all kinds of cool stuff, and we're talking and nerding out on bass stuff. In the meantime, somebody else ghosted me on Reverb with the upright. And I don't have any animosity against anybody that you know, I was messaging with, and you know, just nothing. I buy equipment, I do that stuff, and I think if anything, trying to sell something on Reverb, I'm not wired that way, and I think it'll make me a better customer in the long run now that I've been on the trying to sell. So in the meantime, I just out of the blue, I texted Dan, and I was like, hey, are you interested in a 1954K bass that I've been trying to sell for a year on Reverb? And he writes back in the affirmative, and so we kind of have this back and forth, and I actually looked at this bass when I was in his basement, and I noticed it, and I kind of was, ooh, that's cool. And so he was up for the trade. All right, so the neck is LAKLAND. The body is Dan LAKIN, the guy that started the company, and he still does, like, okay, oh my gosh. So Dan actually worked with him. I'm not sure if he worked at LAKLAND or he worked in Dan's, like, you know, his private whatever. Anyways, okay, so I went ahead and had sent Dan the 3-string retainer and the Black Beauty lights. He had hip shots laying around. The LAKLANDs have like those tiny frets, not mandolin frets, but like the small vintage frets. Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's got that Billy Sheehan attitude set up. Um, Lee Sklar also has a setup like this. I think he did a reverse P. Uh, yeah, I think his is a reverse P. Um, and then we talked about, I think it had a volume tone and then a like a three-way. And he was like, you want to blend? Da, da, da. And so what I asked for was sort of the Billy Sheehan, the straight to jack. And so this jack goes to the neck. This jack goes to the bridge. I already had this for recording, but I mean, I'll probably, you know, especially live primarily, I'm gonna use the neck because I'm that guy. Oh, let's do strung through. I really like it. So yeah, Dan had these kill switches in his shop, and I was like, yeah, sure, throw them in, because he was worried about the leaving holes, and I was like, oh, I'll just get stickers. So there's still one hole, and I have a sticker coming. It's a Black Sabbath sticker for like a '78 tour, which is the year I was born, and so so this is kind of cool because I've always wanted a two output, that Billy Sheehan attitude thing. I've been wanting the small frets years ago at a jam thing at a guitar shop in DeKalb. That was really fun. The guy got in, it was like a 70s Gibson Ripper. And so right before we went to play, the guy said, hey, you should play this bass. And it had those vintage small frets. And I just loved it, and I've wanted. So I mean, seriously, between the sparkle green, the big old neck pickup, and the tiny frets, it's like Santa Claus read my letter. You know. Dan has, oh man, the action on this thing. I think I'm gonna resist raising the action. I'm getting older, and so it probably isn't the worst thing if I learn to play with some finesse and just be nicer to my hands. Yeah. And oh, the other thing, I'll talk about this really, I just thought this was funny. So you have, I got a black 3-string retainer, and it looks really good with that blacked out headstock. These hip shots, they have like the on chromed, and then they got the chrome. The bridge is chrome. This one, where am I? End pin is chrome, and then let's see, it's hard to angle. Here we go. Where are you? Oh man. Okay, that one end pin, that was a lot for that. That one end pin is like the gold, and so that cracks me up. That it's got that Star Wars C-3PO, you know, like red arm thing, where it's like it's a Frankenstein. I didn't make the Frankenstein. There's a better. I've made a Frankenstein's monster that is great, but I should not be making. I should not be sewing clones together and reanimating them because I'm not a surgeon. Dan is a master surgeon. He's a brain surgeon. So this is, this is a better Frankenstein's monster. No offense to my Fenderstein. It's beautiful, but it's kind of, you know, live. It's semi-retired. Yeah. So we got SHELLEY Piccolo, Hawaiian C in the open A, Harley Benton, and the LAKLAND LAKIN hybrid. With all respect to, yeah, with like, actually Geezer Butler plays one of these. He plays a LAKLAND. I think it's a P with a J at the bridge. But these are Geezer strings. He goes heavier gauge. I just, yeah. So I'm having a good week. All right, we'll get sound demos up eventually here. Overtime. Labor Day weekend's coming up. That's pretty cool. All right, everybody, drink plenty of water.